Bumped off the stick of Cullinan and down deep into the Jersey zone. Machar on the forecheck forces the breakout up the near side wall. Danbury's in the middle of a change. And now getting sprung ahead is George Hagley. Hagley on in, saved by Hadley. And he'll hold on, but it does result in a penalty, and we'll see New Jersey's power play for the first time.
Belts, as opposed to, if you had gotten them a month earlier, they were on a 10-game losing streak. Then they entered the playoffs on a 10-game winning streak.
Certainly. And how did they finish up that season? By defeating the Elmira Junior Soaring Eagles, jumping them in the standings, and they were on their way to start that playoff series out in New York when they received a very sad phone call and said, turn around.
It's a long push to the playoffs, but a lot of it is just about, can you get hot at the right time?
So Jersey on their first power play. A sharp angle attempt goes off the butt of Hadley's stick. Chopped back down low for Hagley. Hagley could not handle it, and again gets sent all the way down.
Brendan Avazov is a very dangerous scorer, and Connor Lefkoff edged off him and let him have an open
season, especially because you have the NCDC guys, you have the NAHL guys, but just think about how many Americans can't go up to Canada and play this year. You take a look at the British Columbia Hockey League, a junior A league, on the west coast of Canada.
The OJHL is up there as well. That's one of those options for American players.
Yeah, Maverick Skeens this year is playing in the SIJHL.
That's right.
Dumped in by the Tricks. Donovan on the forecheck, and now Weber. Bit of a different line here with Dylan Weber, Nate Mastroni, and Kolby Donovan out on the ice. We had seen Donovan paired up with Brandon Cope and Matti Tarainen over the past few days. Tanner Smith sends us through everybody. Wallace will race back. There's the whistle. Cullinan can't quite connect, and it goes all the way down the ice.
Good strength in the near side corner by Dylan Weber. He was down on one leg, as you mentioned, but he pops right back up to his feet. Oh, goodness.
Well, that was interesting. Connor Lefkoff giving everybody on the Danbury bench a scare. Shades of Patrick Steffen.
He skates right in front of his own crease, and the ice surface was a little choppy because normally Nathan Hadley and the goaltenders across the nation, they do that little skating routine to chop up the blue paint. It wasn't very even, and Lefkoff almost potted it in his own cage.
It's probably would have been his least favorite goal of all time. Offsides called against Danbury as Kolby Donovan.
And the hockey writers last year ranked their best number 30 as a forward, Knuckles Nyland.
There you go.
Boy, was he a bruiser, wasn't he?
Yes, I would not want to be on his wrong side. 2-on-2 into the zone. Weber sends one wide. Bacon at the point. A bouncing puck keeps it alive. Donovan shovels it along for Madsey, who will take the shot. Goodson sends it into the corner as the penalty has expired. Now Donovan cuts off a pass behind the net. Goes back to Madsey. Again on goal. Deflected by Mastroni wide. Cade Bacon. His shot from the point in and out of the glove of Goodson. Donovan will pick up that rebound, chip it down deep. Casey, you noticed how the Titans, they were back to even strength, but they were still a bit shorthanded in their own zone.
And there's a lot of confidence from the Danbury defense right now. They're all taking shots on goal. Bacon, Madsey, Lefkoff, they're all taking shots because you have players that want to make up for yesterday, try to make a statement to the coaching staff, and reassert themselves.
In this case, I'm expecting a very fluid movement, at least for this first shift.
You want to see the feet moving and the puck being slung quickly.
Tarainen off the draw, giving it for Donovan. Donovan didn't see an option on the near side wall. Now drops for Madsey. Donovan calling for it, gives back to Madsey. Cole Madsey, Kolby Donovan. Madsey a shot in and out of the glove of Goodson. It's loose in the crease, cleared out of danger by Massieri. Now Donovan. On the sidewall. Has an option in Madsey and gives to him. Madsey walking the blue line, draws a couple defenders. Now he'll dive down low. Madsey, the defenseman behind the net, feeds back Donovan. Donovan at the blue line, just keeps it alive. Madsey thinking shot, and then just a miscommunication between Kolby Donovan and Cole Madsey results in New Jersey dumping it down.
There were a couple of whacks at the puck and the blue paint down low from Oldham and Mastroni. They're not normally the kind of players in the archetype that you would think setting a screen in front because they're both a bit undersized, but it's their scrappiness that makes them so valuable down there.
Here's Lefkoff.
For who's going to be the spark plug and get their team back into it, and Byron with a couple of good energy plays to get the Titans bench alive.
I completely agree with you there, and you've seen Andre Kapranov's squad already starting to up the physical play. Sure, they haven't been able to get one behind Hadley yet, but to your point, do something to change the momentum. Here's Mastroni, flipped up and nearly caught by Tanner Smith, but Smith was always not bad. I think that's worth a point. Weber, Mastroni, Donovan up front for the Tricks. Face-off one by New Jersey, now turned over. Weber feeds Donovan a shot, and he ripped it wide.
I think Goodson might have gotten a little piece of that with the heel of his stick there.
Just barely, and then it took a real interesting bounce off the lip of the boards. It actually landed back in the slot. High off the boards once again. Too short was Donovan. 2-on-2 back into the Danbury zone. A shot gets deflected wide off the stick of Bacon. Donovan looking to clear. Holding the blue line is Hagley. Now Mastroni. Gonzalez-Helm takes it away. You figure Gonzalez-Helm's going to want to get something going back. He was in the penalty box for that last Danbury goal.
Trying to look for retribution a bit, trying to get back into the good graces of the coaching staff. And right now, the difference is that the shooting lanes just aren't as open for New Jersey as they are.
Mastroni canceled off by Byron. Flipped up. This time it stays in play. Kovalev back for Bacon. Along for Madzi, and he'll shovel it back down into the near side corner with under 2 to play in the first.
And the Hat-Tricks are content dumping the puck in deep and going to work in the corners because right now they're winning a lot of those board battles.
I think that's the biggest difference over the course of 24 hours is being able to get those pucks. Here is Donovan stepping into the slot, knocked off of his stick. Reaching for it was Weber, knocked away by O'Neill, and now Avazov to the outside will send it down deep. Hadley sees this roll up to the side of his cage. He doesn't want to take a chance. Face-off will be to his right with Pat. Great example of that for Doucette. It's his 14th goal of the season, and perhaps more importantly, it gives New Jersey some momentum with only 24 seconds. Now make it 21 seconds. I think that's good.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, no, I think that's all right. Another face-off in the neutral zone, 18 to go. Dylan Weber forcing all sorts of trouble on Justin Heiler. Weber's able to get it in. 10 seconds to go in the period. Wrapped around the boards. Wallace will chase after it. 3 seconds to go. And a late goal by New Jersey cuts the lead in half at the end of the first period of play. It's only U.S. Capitol, not accessible by road. We were supposed to go to Skagway, but Skagway's at the end of about a 30-mile fjord. And when we were up there, there were 70-knot winds. So our captain said, no, we're not doing that. Instead, we popped into a little town called Haines, population 2,400.
You'll have to get the Alaskan Connor Brown, who's out of there on the ice right now, to give you a private tour.
I'm okay with that. Native of Anchorage himself. And, of course, Alaska, both the University of Alaska Anchorage and the University of Alaska Fairbanks, two pretty storied college hockey programs.
Is Fairbanks the one with that great 2000s era game intro with the polar bear that attacks the arena?
I believe no, because Fairbanks is going to be the Nanooks. I think that's going to be Alaska Anchorage the Seawolves, where, yes, their mascot ate everybody. It was hilarious. I'm glad that you brought that up. I hadn't thought about that in a while.
There is nothing better in sports than cheesy 90s, 2000s era intros.
Here come the Titans. Losing a handle on the puck was Brett Bell.
The best one in my mind is the Florida Panthers, where they go to a punk rock version of In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, and it's Olli Jokinen awkwardly beckoning Alex Ald to come join him, and there's just two very unthreatening men in khakis and polos.
Wonder, did they throw any rats during this time?
Not in this one.
Heiler a shot. That's deflected. Ends up on the side of the cage. Connor Lefkoff is dragging along Nate Byron. Puck comes out.
Byron was on top of the puck, and Lefkoff gives a swing at him like, you're fair game if you're on top of the puck. I need to get to that.
Lefkoff had to drag him around for a bit as well. We have a whistle. We have a penalty. And I believe this will go against New Jersey.
How it was, you never want Cullinan to leave the ice, but Matti Torianen plays a very similar role to Cullinan. He's able to spread the puck so well from behind the end line, so they gave him all the space that he wanted from Gretzky's office, really, behind the net. So he takes a couple steps to his left into the corner and sets a man up in front.
Melillo cancels out Mastroni. Weber in support for the home team. Sends it back into the corner, and now Kolby Donovan. Donovan, top of the circle, sends one through the slot, nobody home. Keeping it alive is Lefkoff. Now Lefkoff at the far hashes. His shot goes off the side of the cage. Weber. Mastroni has it roll off of his stick, and the Titans can clear.
Mastroni muscled a bit too much on that puck, trying to cut to the slot area.
It's frustrating because, again, lots of open ice there. Nate Mastroni, he only has 2 goals this season. His most recent one coming against the Generals. That was the second of 2 goals that Danbury scored. But, gosh, you love having those opportunities. Here's Kolby Donovan with an opportunity of his own. Puck on his backhand as he's in the far corner. Cycled along for Westendorf, and he leaves it further for Mastroni. Getting there first is Melillo. He's unable to clear. Donovan holding the puck along the wall. Chipped up in the air. Bryce Wallace didn't know where it was. Danbury will change. Hard around.
Added more of a European feel to it so that it was wider, and the fans are hanging right over the stands in that one.
Interesting. Although my favorite rink dimension, as Mastroni's shot goes off the legs of Massieri and wide, but my favorite rink is the Finnish rink, because it's just as wide as an NHL, or no, it's 7.5 feet wider. Same length as the NHL rink, not as wide as the Olympic rink.
A happy medium.
Yeah, well, why it exists, I don't know, but icing's called against New Jersey. 8.5
Bombers, and they have some of the shallowest fences in the league. Let's call it what it is. They're a home run hitting team, so they build a park that is for home run hitters.
Wallace's shot from the point. Another shot on goal. Goodson makes 2 saves. And actually, Yankee Stadium needed to be grandfathered in because that short right field porch is, it doesn't meet regulations. MLB let them get away with it because, well, they're the Yankees.
Well, exactly. I mean, if you were building a stadium right now, would you build anything that looks like what Fenway Park looks like right now?
Of course not. Mastroni's come in offsides. Faceoff will be in the neutral zone. 9 minutes gone.
In the intermission last night in the Pittsburgh Penguins-Boston Bruins game.
That's a great example because, the hit itself might be shoulder on shoulder, but there's more to a hit than just that.
Absolutely. Location plays almost 90% of whether or not it gets called.
Here's Kolby Donovan blowing a tire behind the New Jersey net. 20 seconds gone by on the Titans power play as it's shuttled up ahead for O'Neill. Check that, Brett Bell with the puck. Good to see Bell back on the ice after he was shaken up a couple minutes ago.
Had to take a couple shifts off, but he popped right back up onto the bench. He didn't want any attention.
He's a hockey player. Here's Jardine on the power play. Shot off the stick of Massiri. Gets 20 seconds to go on New Jersey's power play. But I was really struck by these junior players. Obviously, everybody on the ice here wants to play in the NHL. And here they are like little kids again in the corner watching these players zip around the ice.
Oh, sure. One more point as far as the Whale go in terms of how easy they are to root for. There's a lot of players that are local products. Shannon Doyle is a teacher at Greenwich Day School for her day job, and she's the captain of the team. Melissa Samaskevich was a Quinnipiac grad, was a captain there a couple of years ago and part of Team USA. There's a lot of great local players that Connecticut fans can root for.
Now you have the women's team at Quinnipiac. Sacred Heart has a women's team.
Hockey is growing at every level for every gender in this state. It was able to sneak in past the defense. So much attention was being paid towards the boards. He was left all alone in the slot. Pass was just behind him.
We mentioned Avazov and Doucette as being 1 and 2 in scoring. Brett Bell's right there. He's number 3.
And you can see why. He's keeping his feet moving, and he's got great vision of the ice while he's out there.
2 pretty evenly matched teams, and Casey, it feels like a pretty evenly matched game right now. Even though it's a 2-goal advantage towards Danbury, New Jersey, they're not going away.
Jersey is starting to tight these offensive zone faceoffs to cycle the puck and play 5-on-5 hockey, not 1-on-5 hockey.
Joe Melillo on the draw. Kolby Donovan with the faceoff win. Cameron Pape trying to come up with the puck. unable to do so. Donovan will take it the other way. Donovan avoids most of a check from Gonzalez Helm. Boy, Gonzalez Helm really seems to be the linchpin of this New Jersey defense.
And why not? He's got such a great body on him for an NA3HL player. He's got great reach. He's mobile for a defenseman. He's the kind of archetypal player that you want on the back end anchoring things.
Oh, he's 6 foot. What is it with these 6'6" guys?
There's a lot of big bodies out there. We haven't seen too much of Cade Bacon since the first period, but he's just as tall out there.
I remember when 6'2", 6'3" was considered big.
Oh, at times they are a changing, Zach.
I don't like it.
Especially in the goaltending department. You see a lot of bigger goalies out there now.
Oh, yeah. You take a look at someone like Darren Pang, who put together a pretty respectable NHL career. Who knows if he even gets a look these days?
Oh, and as late as the late 2000s, the best goaltenders in the league were Henrik Lundqvist and Tim Thomas, and even Martin Brodeur wasn't even that big. And then all of a sudden, the Tampa Bay Lightning, I think, were at the forefront of this because they brought in Anders Lindback and Ben Bishop into the world. And the two of them...
Still the tallest tandem.
I mean, that was just unbelievable how tall they were when they came into the league, and they changed the game.
Well, Bishop's what, 6'6", 6'5"?
I think taller than that. I think he's 6'7", 6'8". Lindback was 6'7".
Yes, that one I knew. Is this one bounces in on goal. Rebound comes out. A shot, and it just goes wide off the stick of Gonzalez Helm. And that's how we finish the second period.
Oh, yeah. In those old-style barns, they built it vertically.
Oh, yeah.
The new renovations to arenas, for example, Prudential Center, when instead of Brendan Byrne Arena, it's one of those things where instead of building things taller, you're building things wider to allow more fans in.
I've heard of stories of people getting vertigo at the old Aud in Buffalo.
Oh, even Nassau Coliseum, if you go up there, it feels like you're climbing a ladder. You're not walking upstairs.
No, I needed rappelling gear last time I went to one of those games. Here's Dylan Weber. Going back, left off a shot. Nice stand-up block by Nate Biron. Connor Brown will send it back into the Jersey end. We have a whistle. We have a penalty. Who's it going to be against?
Brown and Jardine came trying to figure out what the other team is giving you. Danbury has been able to move the puck at will from behind the end line. You have to be able to adjust that.
Donovan at the blue line as we're underway once again. Sent across, a one-timer by Turinainen, just missed wide. Holding it alive was Madzi. Madzi goes across, gets the puck back, can't hold the blue line, and smartly he draws the whistle. Faceoff might come all the way down the ice, however.
Funny, there's more of an emphasis now on broadcast quality than there ever has been. So if you have a good camera vantage point like Danbury Arena, where you're able to see a good width of the ice, I mean, that's something that we can tout. New Jersey also has a good broadcast vantage point. But there are other arenas across America, especially on the East Coast, I think, that are very low to the ice, or maybe you have a cameraman who's just asleep at the wheel, and I mean, you better hope that your actions get caught.
Net is off the moorings. Play continues as Madzi gives finally along for Donovan. Donovan tries forcing one on goal. 2 seconds and one. New Jersey has killed off the penalty. Here's Madzi. Caught from behind by Smith. Oldham in the corner. Smith will take it back. And Honest. 13 seconds elapsed off the penalty. Draw finds its way back onto the stick of Gonzalez Helm. He goes D to D across. A bouncing puck lands in front of a net, and it gets chipped wide. Well, is that a rubber puck or a rubber ball?
That was wacky. That landed right onto the stick of Avasov. He had himself a point-blank chance, and he was able to lift it, too. It landed right in front of him, and he's still able to sky it.
It's not an easy puck to handle, but Brandon Avasov certainly has the skill to do so. Here's George Hagley. Sending one into the corner. Lefkoff gets there for Danbury. Donovan in support. Gonzalez Helm holds the blue line for now. Lefkoff still trying to force it up. Dumps Gonzalez Helm down to the ice. Puck stays in the offensive zone. Shot, sends one over the top of the net was Hagley.
Hagley had an open net to shoot at that top side. Hadley was down.
Gonzalez Helm again with under a minute to go in the power play. Nice move to get around Donovan. Feeds across. Avasov, a shot saved by Hadley.
Hadley slams the door. What a terrific move that was by Gonzalez Helm to set that up.
A 6'6" defenseman, and he's stick handling in a phone booth now. A shot, save, rebound, scores. George Hagley, a power play goal. And for Westendorf, it is his third goal of the season. Boy, Grant Goodson has made some real highlight reel saves this afternoon. But his team finds themselves down by 2 goals once again. Donovan chipping it down into the Jersey end. 6.5 gone by in the third. Weber picks up a loose puck, has an option in Lefkoff, instead takes the shot himself. That pinballs right over to the Chipman Mizuko Emerson sign on the boards. Connor Brown gets knocked down at the neutral zone. Kolby Donovan, his shot goes well wide. Interesting bounce off the stanchion behind the cage.
It's a good give and go there with Nate Mastroni with Kolby Donovan together. Puck was rolling on Mastroni, and he was still able to muscle the puck over to Donovan, even though it was rolling up his stick.
And, you know, players like Donovan.
A couple of different rushes, but they've been broken up by Danbury defender Cole Madzi. He's broken up a couple of different chances here in the last couple minutes.
Well, Madzi's one of your best defensemen in Danbury, and you need your best players to be exactly that. Mastroni got the puck into the New Jersey end. Here's Tanner Smith turning it over. Donovan, a shot blocked in the slot. Nice shot by Jardine getting in the way.
And Donovan makes that whole play happen by throwing a hard hit along the boards. Mastroni carries in. He drops it back. It's taken by a New Jersey Titan, and Donovan throws his weight against the boards to knock the puck free and get a shot on goal for himself.
Brown can't clear. Jardine widens and fires. That's a stand-up block. Mastroni gets the puck right over to the Fairfield County Bank logo in the neutral zone. Donovan at the end of his shift tries chipping it along for Weber. No sail there, and then nearly turning the puck over is Michael Masiri. Masiri again with 10:15 to go in regulation time. Chipped off the glass. Lefkoff will send it right back into New Jersey's zone. Flying is Misha Mishar. Shot bounces off the leg pad of Goodson, and then Jake Oldham was right there on the doorstep.
Oldham got a piece of that initial shot. He was able to redirect it into the pads of Goodson. That's a great play there.
Grant Goodson has now made 30 saves this afternoon. His team will require a couple more. There's number 31 as that gets directed out of play. Face-off coming up in the New Jersey zone with 8:09 to go in.
After he was out there with Weber and Donovan, and here he is remaining out there.
Oh, Mastroni has certainly had a strong game. He's been turning it on lately. Weber goes back to the point. Lefkoff shot off the skate of the defender in front of the net. Now Bell sending it down deep. I think that was Tanner Smith who actually got in the way of that Lefkoff shot. Regardless. Up the boards. Kolby Donovan will give chase. Masiri gets there first. Masiri taken down from behind. No call coming. Lefkoff at the blue line. Turns the puck over. 2-on-2 through the neutral zone, and a solid defensive play by Cole Madzi breaks up that offensive opportunity.
He's had a great third here, Zach.
Now Madzi, just as we jinx him, runs into Connor Lefkoff.
He's setting a pick.
Here's Lefkoff, the defenseman. Over the Hat-Tricks logo at center ice and chipped down deep. Kicks off the...
His helm does such a good job running the point for this power play. He was able to generate a chance, and he sends it down low. Cade Bacon got a piece of a pass towards the end line. Bacon didn't really know where the puck was. He just kind of stuck his leg out and hoped for the best.
A pair of guys at 6'6" meeting each other. Donovan tries forcing a turnover. Instead, it's Gonzalez Helm sending it far side for Brett Bell. Bell neatly stripped by Weber. And Weber turns one off the boards. Nearly was able to connect with Donovan, but he had a couple officials in the way.
Puck was bouncing up a little bit at Donovan, too. He was chopping down at it, but it was up by his knee.
Dumped back into the Danbury end with 18 to go on New Jersey's power play. Around the boards and out once again. New Jersey's having real difficulty setting up anything in the zone.
It was a good clear there by Bryce Wallace to make that play happen, getting to the puck first.
Clearing attempt gets knocked down. Donovan will chip it back towards his own cage. Now, I think Nathan Hadley's seen enough shots. You don't need him coming from his teammates, too. Long pass just goes under the stick of Mishar. No icing on the play. Misha Mishar for Cullen.
Well, last year was supposed to be the chosen year, right? All of the holidays were on weekends. We were all going to enjoy ourselves for some good times and merriment and revelry.
And friends.
And being together in the same room.
And people.
Good times. Well, at least now you're fully vaccinated, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Flex on him a little bit there.
Apparently. I still need to wait another week or so before everything will be 100% effective. It is a good feeling. It's
comfort.
Yeah, exactly. I was searching for the word there because you know what? Eventually, sometime this year, I feel like we're going to have this arena at full capacity again.
Sure.
And when that happens, I don't want anything to worry about.
Absolutely. You've got the Fed team coming back in October. The North American League team is making a run for the Robertson Cup playoffs right now. And you've got these NA3 players who are used to playing for friends and family and fans in the Danbury area. You have 3 teams, not to mention the women's team that plays
at the red line. Boy, and how about the trust that this coaching staff is putting in Jake Oldham as that shot from the Danbury zone goes wide. But Jake Oldham, this is someone who was
in his first year with the team. He's just trying to make an impact, and he's been growing into that role.
Weber with a clean face-off win. Cole Madsey is content just to hold this puck in the corner. 3 Titans trying to dig it on out. Eventually it comes loose, and now Weber will hold it up. Trickles towards goal. Hadley makes the save. Hadley then takes a
month, and they're trying to get back in the W column. They were able to put last night behind them. I think having an immediate game after the fact made things easier.
Feels good simply because you don't have to think about it. You don't have a day or two to stew on things. And it worked out pretty well for them. That'll do it. Danbury